Think about it. As soon as you lose interest in that person, they come running back to you. As soon as you stop focusing less on getting a job title and wanting all of that extra money and start just focusing on your craft and enjoying the moment, you attract a better job. So having all of this anxiety and fear and second guessing is actually repelling the thing that you want. How would you exist differently if you knew that all of your dream outcomes were secured? If everything in your past was resolved, and in this moment there was nothing to loop over, there was nothing to solve, and you could just allow your mind to rest. The thing is, we think we're chasing outcomes, we think we're chasing goals, but we are just chasing feeling states. People who are chasing a partner or a crush, what they want isn't that person, it's what they projected onto the person. Because if they were to get the person, that must mean that they're desirable, they're attractive. So that is the feeling state that they're after. If someone is chasing money and wants a new job, what they're after is the feeling state of security, of success, of feeling like they made it. And the biggest paradox is that it is never something outside of you that is making you feel that way. It is whether or not you've given yourself permission to feel that way. And we think that we need to wait for that thing outside of us in order to feel a certain way. And until then, we need to be anxious and we need to try and figure out how it is to get there. And we carry ourselves throughout life with so much resistance and all of this anxious energy. But what we really need to do is focus on our state and our vibration, and that thing that we want so bad will become attracted to us. Your brain is trying to solve a problem. It's trying to help you. It thinks that it's helping you. So it's not your brain's fault. You have the full responsibility of whether or not you feed those loops or whether or not you try to focus your energy into something different, into something you can control. Every thought you choose to feed shapes your reality and your self-concept. So if you are constantly thinking thoughts like, when is it going to come? Am I worthy of it? What can I do? How can I change myself now in order to attract it? So whatever it is that you want or you're desiring, the kind of person that would effortlessly attract that thing doesn't have thoughts like that. They don't feed those kinds of patterns. They are emotionally detached. And that is why that thing can effortlessly come into their life. In my freshman and sophomore year of high school, I was a C average student. I was in 0 extracurriculars. I didn't do school well. I would just casually get F's on tests because I didn't care. I was going through a very rough time at home and I didn't know how to study. At the end of my sophomore year of high school, when everyone started to think about applying to colleges, I remember I was like, I want to get into a very good college. I remember having meetings with my guidance counselors and they had to tell me like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't be applying to these places because they're a little bit out of your reach. I don't know how you're gonna get them. But I had so much blind faith. I never allowed myself to loop so anxiously over it because I just was like, you know what? What happens, happens, and I will end up exactly where I'm meant to be and it'll be okay. So I just focused on the things that I could control. I got my act together. I started involving myself. I started working on my essays and my writing. And after that, I got accepted into one of the best colleges in the US. A college with an acceptance rate of less than 15%. I remember telling my counselors and they were shocked. And my dears, that is literally how it works. Yes, I got my act together. There was a lot of action involved with it. I didn't just have to sit back and do nothing, but I didn't allow my brain to go crazy. I didn't feed all the anxious thought loops. And that is when things that match that energy can effortlessly come into your life. I know so many students who had like straight A's, who had great resumes, but they were operating from this super anxious and insecure place that it came off in their essays. It came off in their energy. And they ended up in places that they weren't very happy with. Wherever you are operating at on the emotional frequency scale, that is what you will attract more of into your life. We need to give ourselves permission to feel the end feeling state first. rather than feeding the thought loops and creating that reality of anxiety and of not being good enough and of always trying to solve some things that are out of your control, as soon as you start sinking that precious energy into cultivating that feeling state for yourself, within yourself, that is when the thing is effortlessly attracted to you, because you're operating on the same vibe, on the same frequency as it, and it will effortlessly come into your life. I was reading this book by Martha Beck, and it's called Steering by Starlight. She used to be a therapist, and she used to see patients. And she told this story of this woman who was literally a multi-millionaire. Like, her net worth was in like the 20 millions or something. And she felt so stingy. She would never allow herself to relax because she was like, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I need to be focused on making more money. And even though she had all this money, she would never allow herself to enjoy it because she was so focused on the external situations rather than allowing herself to calm down and tap into that feeling state that exists within herself. She thinks, just like how most of us do, that the thing that she needs is outside. That as soon as she gets that thing, the feeling state is going to secure her and she's going to be able to feel successful. But it's all an illusion. Because the only reason why you allow yourself to feel that way, even just for a minute, is because you've associated that thing with that feeling state that only you can give yourself permission to feel. There is no duality here. That's like level 1 of mindfulness and of meditation, is whatever you see outside of you exists within yourself. That's why you're able to perceive it. So whatever it is that you're putting on a pedestal above you, whether it's someone else, whether it's a job or a career or looking a certain way, there is no separation. You are allowed to exist as that thing. Whatever feeling state attaining that thing will give you, you are allowed to exist as that. There is no separation. And as soon as you start operating with that mentality, that is when things effortlessly flow to you.